Welcome back to Fiction Tea with Kwani. So today I'm going to do a review of the X-Men's Dark Phoenix. So let's get into it. It's a sci-fi action film about the X-Men character Jean Grey, who's consumed by a dark force known as the Phoenix during a rescue mission with the other mutants. Now let's completely take away from the fact that not only does the Dark Phoenix latest film, not new because it came out a while ago, but not only the fact that it doesn't line up with the actual events taking place in the other movies, like there's a lot of things that are off, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. For example, when Mystique died, you were kind of like, wait, but she's still alive in the other movie, so how is that possible? When the fact that Jean becomes Dark Phoenix because they fly to space, and you're like, wait, but in the other film, she became Dark Phoenix because of the fact that she was trying to save her friends. And not to mention, Wolverine was in that film. Let's just ignore all those things. And I know if you're really a fan of the comics and a fan of all the movies, you would want to correlate those two things. And that's really gonna probably be disheartening because a lot of things don't really match up. So I completely took out all of those things, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna judge this movie in its entirety on what they're giving me right now. I'm not going to compare it to the other movies. I'm not going to compare the actors to the other movies. There's going to be simulations, of course, I'm going to bring up, but I'll try to do my best not to compare. They were great. I thought the visual effects were really good for what they were. I thought Sophie Turner's, aka Sansa.
Hello, Sansa.
I thought that her acting was on point and that she did an amazing job. Really good job. I think the special effects that were on her face, the special effects that came out of her powers, from that to even some of the scenes, dark cloudy sky, I thought it was fine. I thought that was all pretty good. Her acting was very good. I appreciate her acting. I think that she did an amazing job with her acting, especially being that none of those characters were any of the original characters. I thought they did really good. The character who played Magneto did a really good job, and me personally, I love the original older guy who played Magneto. Like, his acting skills are on point. His character is just amazing. I really like Magneto's character and his power. So being that they had someone else play him and nail it was just great. Even Xavier's character was great. I mean, there were a few things I was just like, I thought it was interesting how they made Professor X more of an ass. You know, he was more of an ass compared to the older original Professor X, who was kind of older, kind of more humble. He kind of was getting caught up in the whole celebrity status of life, and I thought it was also, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, the fact that they made him an alcoholic. But I completely dismissed that and was like, you know what? I'm just going to not even get down to that and just move forward with the film. I didn't like Storm's character. I was like, I wasn't understanding why they made her character have an accent. And it's not even, it's not even the fact that they made her character have an accent. It was just like the accent was just terrible. The accent was terrible. I don't know what voice they were trying to imitate, what culture they were trying to imitate. It just wasn't matching up right with her. And I was just like, they could have, like, not really given her any lines, because there were points in the movie where I didn't notice her. Like, I was like, oh, cool, they have a black character, and of course, Storm is black, but it was like, when she spoke, I was just like, oh, she could have just not spoke. They could have just, they should just let her sit in the background, because her acting just wasn't good. Like, it wasn't good. It was special effects that came from her character. I feel like they could have done better. Being that it was an X-Men comic book film, being that it was a supposed to be high budget film because it's in the movie theaters, I just feel like the special effects could have been better for her character. I just felt like it looked cheap in comparison to Dark Phoenix's character and her special effects. Like, for that movie, it just seemed very cheap looking. The human alien characters, I thought they were actually really strong and really good, and I feel like they should have been a little bit stronger. Like, they got their ass whipped a little bit too quick. It was like, you know, I mean, I know they're the X-Men, but these beings are not even human. So, mutant versus non-human, I would have liked to see maybe the aliens be a little bit more tougher, because they did get their ass whooped very quick. And Magneto is always kicking ass. Like, he's just always outshining other mutant characters. I feel like he might have got a little bit too much shine because it wasn't really his film. The whole Jean figuring out her powers, I feel like they maybe drew that out a little bit too much, only because there's an actual film, X-Men's Last Stand, where Jean was already the Phoenix, and we had kind of seen all that. I know this is, I didn't want to compare. The original Jean, her Dark Phoenix was more dark. Her eyes were black, and it was just like, you know, not to compare, because Sophie Turner's Dark Phoenix was great. I really would have liked to see less of her struggling with her powers and more of like actually using them and whooping ass. It would have been good to see her fight the aliens from the beginning, and it was really weird also how the government turned on the mutants so quickly. Like, it was like, oh, I thought we had like a trusting thing going on, and then like one small little thing happened, and all of a sudden they just was like, all right, we turning on y'all betrayed us, we going against y'all. And it was just like, that was quick, you know? Like, there's been so many incidents where things have happened, they still were on their side. Like, it was just like, wow. I would have liked to see Jean kicking butt more so throughout there were like a few incidents where, you know, because she did kill Mystique, which I really didn't like that she killed her, and how they killed her and how she died. First of all, how Mystique died was just really stupid to me, and it seemed like it was so unimportant, the fact that she died. And if they were going to make her die, they should have made it more important and more relevant to the film, because it was just like, what's happening? Like, why is she dying? Like, okay, why is she dying like this? Like, it just out of the blue didn't make any sense, and it was just like, okay. Now, Magneto with the train scene, the fact that he pulled the train into the building, that was amazing. Like, the ending was the best part of the movie, to be honest. Like, during the entire film, I literally was sitting there like, I am so over this film. Like, I'm over this movie. Like, what? I don't know. Sometimes there were just too many parts in the movie where I was just like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? Like, okay, yeah, this is kind of dragging out. Okay, yeah, maybe they should do this. Like, there were some good parts, but it was just like, yeah, I'm over this. But that last scene, yeah, like I said, when Magneto pulls the train inside of the building, that was great. That was great. The effects, how that went into it, him just flying up, and then like Jean just taking his helmet and crushing it. I thought, yo, this is gold. This is great. This is what I was waiting for. The whole time of the movie, this is what I was waiting for. The thing that I didn't like about Jean's character was the fact that announcements about things that we already knew as an audience. Like, it was unnecessary. The government comes looking for her at Magneto's place, and they're like, you know, who did that? She comes out and she's like, you know, I did it. But the way she says it is just like, you didn't have to say it. You could have just walked out, you know, like, and they'd have been like, oh yeah, she's there. Like, I feel like that part was unnecessary. I also feel like her saying to Magneto when she had him up in the air, like, it was just extra, and it was like too much. You didn't have to make an announcement about, you thought that she was gonna come here and you thought she was gonna do something, but you really did nothing. Like, I feel like we didn't really need that, but it was fine. It was fine, but I just personally felt like we didn't need those. We didn't need that. We didn't need her to explain every single thing because we kind of already knew. I love Nightcrawler in this film. I think he was awesome. Like, his character's always been pretty awesome to me. The fact that he can, like, teleport, and the fact that he's blue. And his accent was on point as well. I love his character. I think most of the characters did good in the fight scene. I think they pretty much all did good in the fight scene. And I really loved at the end where Jean was just like dispersing all of those human alien beings without even really touching them. Like, she didn't really touch them. She didn't touch them. She didn't have to do anything. She just had that look on her face like, yes, I'm Jean Grey. I'm the Dark Phoenix. I'm the shit. Like, and the way the special effects, how they dispersed, like, it was amazing. Her facial expression, everything went well together in that end scene. And I thought it was great how she went up to the air and she saved everyone. And at the end, she was, you know, the Phoenix in the sky. Of course, that was predictable. And I loved it. I love the fact that it was predictable. I love that we knew she was gonna, you know, sacrifice herself for everyone else. And it was good. The ending was really good. The ending, like I said, was the best part of the film. And I really appreciated Jean Grey's badass girlness. Like, the badass girl power, the just like, I'm all that killing. It was just great. And I would have liked to see less time spent on being afraid of her powers and more so her embracing that. And they should have kept Mystique longer in the film for that. Also, parts, now there was parts in the movie where I didn't like her going back to see her father for closure, or for, I don't really understand if that helped anything by going back or what it was supposed to do. And I was just like, I don't really know what's happening. Like, I don't know if this is even important to the movie. Like, why? Just like, why? Like, why? That is my review of the film, and I will overall rate it as a C. Yeah, I rated it a 7 out of 10. I would rate it definitely a C. There's definitely a lot of things they could have done. Definitely a lot of things that just was like, this is kind of dragging out, and dang, the action didn't really happen till the end. And even the storyline was like, I'm not sure if there really was a storyline. Yeah, I mean, the acting was good, but there were just some parts that were just like not feeling this. So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below and let me know, have you seen this film? Also, how do you feel about this? As a X-Men fan, how do you feel about the characters? How did you feel about the scenes in the movies watching it? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? And I'll see you all next time for the next review, so stay tuned because it's going to be soon.